Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 65. Last night, got home, had a huge pile of bills that arrived while we were out of town. Started working through those, and man, when you have a big family, you have so many medical bills always coming in. I've got stacks of them all the time. I'm always making payments on them, even though you have insurance. There's always thousands and thousands of dollars to pay. So I have an HSA account, which, if you're not from the U.S., is a health savings account, and it's pre-tax money. So before your paycheck has taxes coming out of it, the money would go into this health savings account, and you can pay on your full paycheck toward your medical bills. You can also use it for other things, but that's not important right now. So although I'm maxing out my health savings account, it's still always empty, and I still have tons of medical bills, and I have a stack of them that I need to call today that are getting pretty old. Some of them from September that aren't paid, so going to get all those caught up and have zero outstanding anything except for the payments that are coming out automatically. On top of that, we have medical issues that we're working through, so new medical bills are being generated. I don't know what else I can do to get pre-tax money in there, but I'm maxed out anyway, as it is. So I did all that stuff and paid all those bills, and I like to keep my bills as far ahead as I can reasonably. Now, I've got a credit card that I ran up last month that's got a $17,000 balance, another one that has a $5,000 balance that I'll be paying in the next few weeks. And with those, I'm not going to pay that balance until the last possible minute, because that's interest that I would be paying elsewhere if I took the money out of something or whatever. It's got value. If it's in the market, if whatever, that money is worth money. So if it's a bill that's $200, I don't mind paying it. But if it's something 5 figures, obviously you want to hold on to the money as long as you can and do whatever you can with it before paying the bill. So I've got that all coming up. But other than that, I'm paid through the end, almost the end of April, like April 20th. All the bills are paid for except for those 2 credit cards. So that always feels good. And as you know, I help my parents with their stuff, and that stuff is all caught up as well. So I feel good about that. And now I can focus on my AP life again. One big outstanding thing I still have is taxes, and I do my own taxes. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I enter my own W-2s and I do all my own taxes, and thankfully, everything has been good. I don't push it on anything. I remember whatever it was, 4 years ago, I sold some properties, a lot of properties, and I had a huge tax bill, and I took minimal deductions and paid the extra tax because I just don't want to have any trouble with the IRS. Why should I mess with that when I can just pay my taxes and have peace in my life rather than worry if someone's going to audit me? Because I don't have time for that. I'd rather pay the price up front than try to be sneaky. So that's just me, though. But I've got taxes to do for 2023 still. So I got to focus on that next couple days. Saturday I'll be busy, but Easter Sunday, after all the family get-togethers, I'll focus on that and hopefully get done in the next 5 or 6 days. It's also the end of the month, so I need to get everything together for BJ21. So I'll be finalizing all my stuff for that, for all the changes that happened during the month. And this morning, I am on my way to a new set of casinos. Not a new set, but a different set of casinos, obviously, than yesterday. And calendar-wise, it looks like I've got a team meeting at 10 o'clock, and that's pretty much it. I will probably have 1 or 2 more meetings come up that are not on the schedule, only so that I can catch up with my team members. So yesterday we were up 36.42 for the day, and that sounds really good, but I looked at my month and including everything I did, I'm ahead only about $7,000 for the month. So right now, I think, I should have looked at this too, but I think maybe last March was a bad one. I'm not positive, but it's going to be my worst month of the year so far. So I'm hoping to make $3,000 or more again today, get me at least into the 5 figures for the month, and that would make me feel a little bit better. I'm very, very, very excited about this weekend and being able to make even more money. That, of course, tomorrow will be in the month of March, and if I go somewhere, Sunday will be in the month of March. So possibly I could be, 7,000 more ahead this month, and might be a decent month after all. So we'll hope for all that to happen. Right now it's 41 degrees. I'm leaving home 6:30 in the morning, and we'll see. I would, generally this direction I'm going to make $1,500, $1,200. Let's shoot for 3,000. Let's shoot for the moon and see what happens. So I'm letting you go for now, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back. So when I walk into this place, I see nobody checking anything, so I'm feeling good about that. But I'm looking around, I see no sign that anyone's been there recently, but everything is still cleaned out, so I don't find any major plays. I find a couple of small plays, and I make a couple bucks here and there. Actually, one of the plays that I made that paid me pretty decent compared to the bet size is something that I don't think any other AP does. It's a machine that I feel like when a certain condition exists, it's in my favor, and it's worked out almost always. And that one paid me almost $100, and just walked around and looked at some things. I've been gone for a week, and a lot of the machines that were close to being a play as far as must hit buys had already run their course, and they were already gone, so those weren't a possibility anymore. I kind of lingered a little bit longer than I needed to, but I ended up finally leaving ahead $146. So a nice little win, $146. I was there probably 40 minutes or so, and moving on. So right now I'm moving on to the next casino. I should be there 21 minutes before a meeting that I have. I feel that this casino and its conditions are such that I could run through the whole casino in 21 minutes, and if not, if it looks like things are getting close, I will take the easy plays first and leave the lesser known plays until after my meeting. My meeting should only last about half an hour, even though it's scheduled for an hour. I'm also going to be meeting with another AP and talking to them for a few minutes. So a lot of stuff going on in just a little bit of time. We'll probably be walking and talking while I'm in there, and then run back to the car. So the goal here is, this place is weird. You could make a lot, you could make nothing. It's one of those places that's either picked clean or there's a lot of opportunity. So I'd love to make a couple $100 in here, and then we're going to move on to a big casino and play some blackjack and try to make some bigger money. So for now, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to move on to the next spot, and then I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So I moved on to the next place, and I only had about 20 minutes to get in and out of there, and walked in, looked around, found a few things to play. I was down about $20 or $30. I was ready to leave. Talked to someone who's going to be in the meeting, and they indicated that the meeting was going to be canceled because there wasn't going to be enough people in the meeting. So I kept on looking and found a couple kind of higher risk, higher reward type plays and started playing, and that was a big mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Within 20 minutes, I was down $400. Then 40 minutes, I was down $70. Within an hour, I was down $2,400, and the yo-yo was going up and down like crazy. And I lucked out at the end to have a decent hit, and leave down only $588, which is absolutely awful. I don't know. I played a lot of bigger plays, $6 a spin, $5 a spin, $4 a spin plays, and all of them performed terribly, and I was lucky to leave with anything, honestly. So after all that, instead of being in there for 20 minutes, I was in there for 2 hours and ended the session down $588. So right now I'm going to move on to the next spot. I'm going to be playing some blackjack, hopefully do well there, and I may try to play some slots depending on what the conditions are. I've been watching a big one there, and if that one is close, which it could be by now, that may be a long play that I do today. So that's what's going on right now. Right now, temperature's up to 50 degrees, so it's a nice day. So I'm going to try to make the best of it here, and I'll be back to update you shortly. All right, guys, I am back. So I go into the next place and look around at some slots first, because the blackjack tables are busy. There's a $100 table and a $50 table, and there's too many people at the $50 table. $100 table just started to shoe, so I walked around and looked at some slots, and I either made nothing or like $5 or $10, something like that. Actually, I made like $25, I remember now. So I go back to the blackjack area, and the $50 table has an opening, so I sit down. It's just me and one other person, start to play. Another person comes on the next shoe, and then 2 more people come on the shoe after that, and I'm like, I can't do it. I got to get up. Having 5 people at the table is just way too much. So I get up. I was only ahead $32.50 at that point. I go back, look at some slots, end up ahead 61 on the slots, go back to the blackjack again, and the table where that guy was now empty, and they offered me to lower the limit if I wanted to. They said they had raised the limit because he was some pro ball player or something, and he wanted privacy, so they had raised the limit for him. So that was okay with me. I ended up playing there for a little while and finally leaving ahead 800. So overall for the blackjack, I was up 832.50. And then slot wise, I'd gone down a bunch of rabbit holes that I shouldn't have gone down. A little embarrassed that I even did it, but you know, I was down as much as 2100 at one point and came back. So I was happy to leave alive. So with all that being said, I wasted a ton of time in there. I was in there 2 hours and 40 minutes, and here I go. So right now I am heading back toward heading out toward another place, and then I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I'm back. So I couldn't really talk earlier. I don't know if you could tell or not, but I had someone with me who doesn't know everything that I do, or that I have a podcast or anything like that. So I couldn't say too much. I just said that my friends and I record messages back and forth to each other. So I just left it at that. So going back to when I was playing blackjack, when I first got there, like I said, the tables were busy, then they got light, and then they got busy again. And I should have known, this place is always busy on Fridays, and now we've got the tournament coming up here, the Sweet 16 stuff going on and everything, and people are sports betting and getting ready for everything, and so I guess that's why it was busy. And this place actually has a large number of 6 to 5 tables. At one point I was sitting waiting for my friend, and I was sitting next to a machine that does blackjack. So you can actually play digital blackjack on a little tiny screen, not the one with the lady dealer on there and all that, not that, just a little screen, little cards come up. And I was watching this girl and her boyfriend or brother or somebody play, and I noticed some crazy stuff. I mean, she was splitting 10s against 9s and against 4s, and staying on 13s against face cards and stuff like that. And she'd stay on a 13 against a face card and win, and she'd hit an 11 against a 6 and lose, and all these different things. And I tried to kind of nudge them a little bit. They're like, man, no matter what I do, I'm losing. And I'm like, it's none of my business, but you're playing a slot machine. You're not playing real blackjack, so you're not going to get a house 1% edge. You're getting like a 14 or 15% edge. I said, if you want to play blackjack, just go to a blackjack table and play. And if you can't afford the $10 or whatever minimum, then just play something else. And I don't know. I probably shouldn't have said anything at all, but when you're sitting there and someone's losing, and doing stupid stuff, and they have no clue what they're doing, it just depresses me to hear that casinos are beating people, or to see casinos beating people like that. And I should keep my mouth shut more of the time. Let me see. So what happened at that place too is there was a machine that was at $6 a spin that was just in the money, and I played that thing and I got butchered on that thing. I was down, by the time it hit, I was down $1,400. And I'm thinking, how many times is this going to happen to me today? That happened this morning, and here I go again. It was like $2,500 this morning, and $1,400 this afternoon, and eventually at one point this afternoon it was $2,200, whatever it was, and I was able to get it back, and it was just not a fun time. And I came to the conclusion that every time I come to this area, this type of thing happens, and it's just not a good place for me to play. And I'm going to try to play in this area less, but I only have like 5 different markets that I can play in that are within like 5 hours of driving of me, and I don't want to go a lot further just to mix it up. So it may make more sense some days to just come on a different shift of the same casino rather than going to some of the worst areas just to mix it up. Anyway, I finished up there, got in the car, and we moved on to another place. But on the way, I was hungry. I stopped and got some food. What did you eat today, MW? Chipotle. So yeah, I had Chipotle today. I had nice, beautiful chicken with white rice, black beans. I know about the white rice. Leave me alone. But I did not get the brown rice. I got the white rice. I got extra rice too, if that makes you feel better. Black beans, all the yummy stuff on there, and it was delicious. And there's a bunch of things that you could do extra of on the Chipotle app without paying more money. Pretty much everything except meat and guacamole is free to get extra, so you can end up with a really big bowl. In fact, I actually checked, and at one point I got extra everything with an extra scoop of meat, and it actually was cheaper than getting 2 bowls, and it was more food than getting 2 bowls. So there you go. I think they try to like overdo it when you say extra. They try to like put a ton on there just to prove a point. Anyway, moved on to the next casino. I've got a VIP card for parking. I scan the VIP card and I go in, and the VIP parking is full, and I have to wait for someone to leave just so that I can get into the parking. So I finally get in, I walk in, and just start looking around, and the place is packed, and I'm looking. I'm playing a few plays here and there, and the game that killed me this morning for a couple $1,000, I saw the same type of game this afternoon, not exactly, but pretty much, and I played that one, and that one took another $100 and something from me. So I was like, oh Lord. First machine, one of the first machines that I play in this place, and it puts me down $100 and something. But played some other games and was bopping around about -200 the whole time, and then had a couple of decent plays. One put me from like -250 to +225, and then I played another one, which is one that's new to me, but I understand how it's supposed to work, and I ended up doing okay on that one as well. And watched a lot of people play. There are a lot of ploppies now playing big time money that they used to not play. when you have machines that go from 50 cents to $50 on one machine, people start getting frustrated, they start raising their bets, they start chasing their money, and it gets totally out of control, and you see people that you used to see just playing 45 or 50 cents a spin, just running back and forth to the ATM, and it's pretty sad. It really is pretty sad. Let me see. Some stuff I can't really talk about. Machine play that I can't even explain. Let's just say there's a few things that I can do now where if I'm short like $20 or $30, I'm pretty much able to get it back with pretty low risk, short term. What does that really add to my life in EV? Probably $40 or $50 a week. Not terrible, but no big deal, I guess. I ended up leaving that place ahead $323. Ran into a few weird situations. One of them was walked up to a machine that nobody was there, and there was like $3 or $4 in the machine, and there's a person to the right and a person to the left. I asked them if anyone was playing. They said no. I sat down for a minute, played one or two spins at minimum like 25, 50 cents, and withdrew that and left. What would you do if you walked up on a machine and there was $1 in it, let's say, and the minimum to spin that machine is $10, and there's a card, and you sit there for 5 minutes and nobody comes? Do you take the $1? I don't know. Think about it. Tell me what you would do. What would you do if you found a voucher on the floor? Would you keep it? What if it was a $20 bill on the floor? What if it was outside and it was a $20 bill? I think about these things, and I'm kind of putting together a little defense in case anything ever happens, because I really feel like people losing money in these places, it's not their money anymore once they lose it. But I try to be a human being about it. We've talked about this before. I don't want to beat a dead horse. But anyway, right now I'm moving on, deciding whether or not to hit another place. I have to go this direction either way. It's getting kind of late in the day. Easter weekend, 68 degrees right now. So I'm going to just rest a little bit, figure out what I'm going to do, and then I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I'm back. So I'm heading home right now, and I was thinking about that last place that I was at. And there's a friend of mine in there who's an Asian guy, real nice guy, very good to talk to and very informative and everything else. And he was telling me, I told him about the game I played that really took my money twice today. And he told me that he once chased what I was chasing for 18 hours and ended up losing $7,000. So what I did was not bad, considering I was in there, 2 hours? And, I lost money, but he lost a lot more money and a lot of time. I'm sure he got plenty of points, but who wants to get points and lose a fortune? So, so I'm heading toward home. This is not the end of the week, although it's Friday. It's Good Friday. I will be playing tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff happening tomorrow. I'm going to focus on one place, staying in one place, and trying to make money in one place tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. I want to remind you guys before I let you go today about why we celebrate Easter. It is the most important holiday of the year, more important than Christmas, more important than Thanksgiving, more important than any other holiday. I think, if you don't really understand what it's all about, you should look it up, read about it, watch YouTube videos, whatever. There's a good book that you could read about it too. You might know what it is. And I really think that you should definitely read that. Tomorrow we'll talk. So I'll definitely talk to you before Easter. If you have any questions or comments, the email is mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. See you tomorrow.